You've seen the skyline a million times, right? It's got to be one of the most famous images on the planet. But today, we're not going to talk about what you can see. We're going to talk about what you can't see, the absolutely incredible hidden world that makes all of this possible. So let's just jump right in. We see all the steel, the concrete, the glass. But what's the one thing, the real foundation, that lets a city this massive even exist on this little island? Well, the answer is way, way older and a whole lot cooler than you'd probably guess. Yeah, we're not just talking about building materials here. We're talking about a geological foundation that was put in place almost 500 million years ago. It's like a giant puzzle connecting ancient Earth with some of the most advanced engineering in the world. And we're about to put the pieces together. All right, so let's peel back those layers of asphalt and steel. We are going on a journey deep down into the hard rock science of New York City. So, our first stop on this little expedition, the bedrock itself. I mean, this is the literal foundation of everything you see. It's the ancient stone that gives the city its incredible strength. And the hero of our story is this stuff called Manhattan Schist. Now, a metamorphic rock is just rock that's been totally transformed, basically crushed and cooked deep inside the earth. Think of it like this. Imagine taking a lump of clay and squeezing it so hard that all its little particles line up in neat little rows. That's kind of what happened here. Minerals got flattened and fused into these dense, interlocking sheets, creating a rock that is just unbelievably strong, perfect for anchoring a skyscraper. And the age here, I mean, it is just mind-boggling. 450 million years. This rock was ancient before the dinosaurs even showed up. But here's the part that's going to blow your mind. The famous Manhattan skyline is a direct result of this rock. In Midtown and way downtown, the schist is super close to the surface, so it was easy to build tall. But in the middle, the rock dips way down deep, and that's why you see shorter buildings there. The city's profile is literally a map of its own hidden geology. So having this super strong rock is obviously fantastic if you want to build on top of it. But what happens when you need to build through it? Well, that's when things get really, really challenging. And this is where modern engineering had to face off against ancient geology. See, as they started digging, engineers found out the schist wasn't just one solid block. Oh no, it was shattered by these fault lines, especially right under 42nd Street. And these aren't just little cracks. We're talking about zones of crushed up, totally unstable rock, usually filled with water. For the people digging the tunnels, it was like trying to navigate a geological minefield. There's a quote from the time that just captures the feeling perfectly. They knew they weren't just digging a tunnel. They were performing a kind of geological surgery, unearthing the bedrock-bound secrets of the city with every single blast. But machines and blueprints don't dig tunnels all by themselves. This incredibly dangerous, backbreaking work was done by thousands of legendary workers called the Sandhogs. These were the miners who went down into the dark and literally carved out the veins and arteries of the city from solid rock. And we just can't talk about this without remembering the immense human cost. Can you imagine working hundreds of feet down in these chambers filled with compressed air just to hold back the river, knowing that the unstable rock all around you could just give way at any second? The toll of the bends and other dangers was just huge, but their sacrifice is what created the city we know today. Okay, so the Sandhogs carved out this physical space, but in doing so, they created this whole unique environment with its own set of rules. So let's go one level deeper now, beyond the rock, beyond the tunnels, to the invisible forces that are at work down there. Let's talk physics. Here's a question you've definitely asked yourself if you've ever been on the subway. It can be absolutely freezing up on the street, but then you go down to the platform and it's kind of gross and warm. What is going on? The answer is a cool concept called thermal mass. That 450 million-year-old schist, it acts like a giant geological battery. All day long, it just soaks up heat, from the friction of the train brakes, from all the lights, from millions of people. And then it just slowly radiates all that stored heat back out, keeping the tunnels warm long after the city above has cooled down. So that's one surprising bit of subway science. But trust me, there are even wilder, forgotten secrets buried down there. This is going to sound crazy, but what if I told you that you could run a train on nothing but air? No, really. Back in the 19th century, an inventor actually built one. The idea was simple, but kind of genius. You seal off a tunnel, use a huge fan to build up air pressure behind the train to push it, and at the exact same time, you create a vacuum in front of it to pull it along. It was a pneumatic subway. It was only a prototype, but it's just this fascinating piece of forgotten physics that was happening right under everyone's feet. All right, so let's bring all these different pieces together now. We're making our final ascent, coming back up to the surface with a totally new way of looking at this city. So, what did we actually find on our journey down into the deep? Well, we learned that New York's famous skyline is basically a direct map of its ancient schist foundation. We saw how some incredible engineering managed to conquer that rock's dangerous faults. We paid our respects to the immense human sacrifice of the Sandhogs, and we discovered the invisible physics, like thermal mass, that are still shaping that environment today. And when you put it all together, it comes down to this. The city's identity, its ambition, its energy, its very shape, it isn't just a cultural thing. It is physically forged by and only possible because of the impossible rock hiding just beneath the surface. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Every single city has its own secrets buried underground. So the next time you're walking down your street, just take a second and wonder, what hidden science is your city built on?